Placed in that position, one seed at a time for the taking to reshape of the entire valley. Placed in that position, one seed at a time for the taking to reshape of the entire valley. The darkness, how did you grow without sunlight and vapor? Don't cry for the lost love for him or her, for the tears you shed, for the loss and trust and memories and on the replay, for the giving up of the heart, but you can wonder my soul. Fall for that sacrifice made in vain, full of shame, carried the bag of youth, the only stay for so long, for the begging of the freedom, for how far, for the fall. Still wanting you, but for one, never to feel again, for the never fall for me. We fall for trees and timeless as the clock's half or frozen, the station never inside the air, for the folding of myself full 3 times over, for 3 people now I just can't stop. Putting the second hands back for the moving of the hours and the dates, revealing of the sounds of the heart for the summer soon, for the summer is worse, for the spring of this paper folded, for the ready to blood to catch my heart. Beats in the reverse, back to the hole, where clocks are frozen, suspended for the stationary summer holds progress, holds it against the skin, against my depleted foes, but not too shorts and shorts, and maybe the arms are like they look like a battlefield for the really felt the cost for the sinking, what you looking for the tears, work through the shreds and your weird words and replay endlessly inside of the head, turning the clock back to the hug you against the shaking and helpless frozen like a clock dispersed. Over the head with you words and go through me for the 3 people, myself and frozen, never one from that moment for the helpless that I can act. Find out station never for the hands on trick. Don't talk like the clocks, but they'll turn back for the only floor I walk. Wild like an animal, love sluts and not complicated for the pair of balls is ecstasy. Ecstasy never for the feminine shit, for the only fight I have is for the fucking stuff. It's so good to wish yourself feel like a bastard, baby, you the most wonderful woman in the world. I can find that ever died and living in love from the side of me. The buds, eternal frequencies, and you can find the wisdom of a baneful wanting to just sleep for them because it wanted to find a dream to claim to know the rhythm of the bumping, never wanted the sound for the softest and soothing, and remember the inside of the brain juice and oozing, and maybe the ugly bubbles of the pop that shrieks and ties tear through by not to go far for this to be the money for the place and sense and pleasure to gather for the aspirin and never the good effect of pounding in the head for the trying to know what you would have with maybe instead for the brain to find a peace of place and quiet. Harmony and title, unforgettable, unconditioned, scatter the chaos and throughout your hungry children, parents and unknown deep within the night, for the only the masquerading the pretenses and thought to only pretain. Tried too much, but it was weak. We need for that, for the utopian streets to govern, be going thrown, defeats, and this the road to be extreme to unclean dreams, and never the sense of loss, and they did pay the cost for they just scattered lines that rhyme to serve. Stories and separate embryos, the truth of the chaos continues, and conditions the hungry children the bread, but then be the choir for the knowledge in the streets and the perceptive dimensions, and they never be reached, and never the hungry, the names, and never known for they come for the bastards that made them made by them, for the him and the him they are, for the copy, it's a secret, and the live and the scramble, for the scribble, the lines, and the ring, the constantly. Claim yourself as the mind, the bear, for the hunger, for the death, it's no longer for the fear of the nothing of the loss, and nothing for the journey, for the everything is and everything all. Exhausted for the realities and they're overlooking until you peek back upon it, for the capturing the hindsight. 2020 for the children discovering the point for not knowing the numbers and whether enough to flee in the previous to cause the opportunity to debate for providing your humanity or whether the absence of providing your son to be raised other woman, the man's and the ass of the man drunken with the party for the daring eyes, before the bit with the garter for the other, for the not a daughter for the country you can have that for the inhale. Nominate for the Milana for the dust of the what you wipe the future when you various and homes and precarious enough for the house with the areas and the motion and yet the living in motion. Then the notions and you can find the depth of the ocean and poetry again. By habit for the flickering and out for this would be the nice house, the family for the vehicle and the double loving you all about for the differences and to be the time you sat and broke up on the bench and the talk about anything that was far from enough for the cool to swap the broken loose for the mile away for the sword of the only the words inside for the hidden for the writing inside the advocate for the smiling of the west you can find it what you can approach. I ain't calling every pie for you put the pause and momentarily for the shrine and what you can find a lot about everything but the crying unfit you and even you can try to squeeze the kissing upon your hands and the only shaking. Front of me, part for the looking down upon it for the hate. You put the hands for the quickly finding your perk for the started and crumble. Maybe quick in the spine for the state of the save the I am for the time of the game for the rhyme again for the there's touching at the front of it. You can find it meant to be read the horn for the quivering of the chant for the pretty pretending for the way to be friendly giving yourself the poetry again to be psychic.
Placed in that position, one seed at a time for the taking to reshape of the entire. Placed in that position, one seed at a time for the taking to reshape of the entire valley. The darkness, how do you grow without sunlight and vapor? Don't cry for the lost love for him or her, for the tears you shed, for the loss and trust and memories, and on the replay for the giving up of the heart. You can wonder my soul. Fall for that sacrifice, made in vain, full of shame, carried the bag of youth, only stayed for so long, for the begging of the freedom, for how far, for the fall. Still wanting you, but for one, and never to feel again, for the never fall for me. You fall for trees and timeless as the clouds have or frozen the station never inside the air, folding myself full 3 times over for people now I just can't stop. Put in the second hands back for the moving of the hours and the dates, revealing of the sounds of the heart for the summer soon, for the summer is worse for the spring of this paper folded for the ready to blood to catch my heart. Beats in the reverse, back to the hole, where clocks are frozen, suspended for the stationary summer holds progress, holds it against the skin, and gets my depleted foes for not too shorts and maybe the arms and legs look like a battlefield for the rhythms of the cost them for the seeking what you looking for with your tears. Work through the shreds of your rare words and replay in the inside of the head, turning the clock back to the hug you against the shaking your head was frozen like a clock dispersed. Over the head with your words, you go through me for the three people, myself and frozen. Never one from that moment for the helpless that I can act. Finite states, never for the hands on trick. Don't talk like the clocks will turn back to the end before I walk. Wild like an animal, love sluts and not complicated for the pair of balls. It's ecstasy, ecstasy, never fucking the feminine shit for the only defining the madness for the kind of fucking and slut for the sort of delicious sucking for like a bastard baby. You were the most wonderful woman in the world I can find that ever died and living in life beside me for me. You sick bastard with the looking for the peace of me quiet for the only defining the endless the buds until the frequencies and you can find the wisdom of bank for money. Just sleep for them because they want to find a trading claim and no good. Rhythm with the bumping, the only the sound for the softness and soothing. Remember the inside of the brain juice and oozing you. Maybe the ugly bubbles will pop the streets and tie the tear through bot. Not to go far for this to be the money for the bliss, space and sense and pleasure. Just gather with the aspirin and liver, the good effect of pounding in the hip with the trying to wish you would. Maybe instead for the brain to find a peace of ways of quiet. Harmony and title, unforgettable, unconditioned, scatter the chaos and the rut. Go hug your children, parents, and unknown deep within the night. The only masquerading the pretenses and thought the only predate. It's not too much, but it was weak. We need for that for the utopia streets of government. And never the sense of loss, and they did pay the cost for they just scatter lines that rhyme this hell. Stories and separate embryos, the truth of the chaos continues and conditions the hungry children of revenue be required for the knowledge of the streets and the adequate symptom. The nations and they never be reached the hungry the nature.
I'll hold you for justice when you can hold your just yourself. And maybe it was just that, for then maybe you can find that, for the complacencies are only not to found, lost to the same place where you left them at. My memory's hard to find that, never try to think about it that way, but I can go. This is the directional, spiritual, highly intellectual, the mystical, for the understanding of your esoteric and I Hermes principles, and maybe the understanding of the liberty with the justice for all, or I can be liberal. I could be a conundrum, or that could be the only outcome. It could be coming out to that, but this will never be coming. It'll be coming up with the come to be. I come to be like a bee, will pollinate inside of the trees, and we can be breathing. You're breathing oxygenated carbon emissions. And maybe if I had in a missionary position to find something, give a status to bring more light, born again like a Christian on a Saturday night, back to the club again, clubs you like a Billy Club was the only Billy holiday I could find that thought it was a man for the habitat with the reputation I can't deny. Part of my part, a part of the particles, and never come for the article that you read about for the propaganda, but only see through the agenda. I leave you loose, slender to define the waistline, line the waist like a prime for the reason to define the kind of less I got the kind of mind for the celestial, for the less the eye for the highly celestial word. I can never find the air, I and I for inside you, blind me by the waist, and you put your laser lights inside of my eye for the red beam. We're looking at you with the blue Venus, with the planets, with the gassy understanding, with the everything within the surface and not what it seems, with the perception, guessing your dreams were interpretations. Maybe you came into the interruption, you would find yourself lost in an imagination of everything gave you. These are the pages, places find you in the fiber oxygen, but you for artificial intelligence, and maybe you have had the intel if somebody ever told you. You can listen, you can go there if you will follow me. Follow me on my Instagram, instantly got many followers, and like with no disciples. Cycle the five, decipher the fact you could be a gopher that's under the ground like an earthworm, underground with the sound for you could be the apple seed for the under apple. Maybe it was a Snapple, it was a can, it was Clorox, it was V for the commitment to the chemicals, and hold the population control. You can never hold them in the control, you can never control us, and maybe it was remote. Mobility is everything, you can have it in your pocket. Everything will be your rocket to outer space, and then beyond that there will hold your secrets inside of that, never to hide that cloud. On the cloud today for the sun to wipe that tear upside down, turn your frown the other way around, cry, shy, let it out. This is the place where we shout about and speaking what tongue for the everybody speaks in. Everybody believing there's something you can never be for the leaf of the tree. Never to understand the God that could breathe and breeze and understand that we can all be heathens, and we're not for the black clot, bubble goose inside of your triple one. I ain't got the fucking, you can find the outcome for better than my income. Every time I come around for the same outcome, but coming around the corner like it was the corner, distorted to have a borderline. I am not Caliban for the blowing and shooting. My one for the I can take a shot. Free throws and hold that for the point. What's the point, nigga? I don't know. Whatever, we get some points to add them up. We can win it for the winner. When a day comes in, maybe it would be a Wednesday, or maybe not. Maybe it was a different month like a May. May I come to April showers and sharper you with the understanding the blessings coming in disguise. Disguise through a see-through mask is transparent. Masquerade, this is the parent. I have parents apparently. Maybe this was the part of the simile. This was similar to the way you was raised. How come you can find that gravity hold you down? I hold it down like it was a west like a nation to find a reason to find your kinetic energy. Places of one sideline, critical mass hangover for the everything with the dense power for the discipline, the gamma ray. Light high beamy, lighthouse, bring 'em into the shore for the Seymour, for the understanding Seymour was a flower garden that only horror little shop of horrors and the find the horoscopes. Everything that we can find for the telescopes. We could be spaced out in time, spaced out of our mind, space with the only design of the architect for the engineering was only the engineering. You find her that you could see your sight for the seer sighted for everything but the persevere. Each particular good, would have been able to deer in the headlights and find your radio at the time York. It would be a Bjork with the symbol for the everything would be an acapella with the chord, to find the recipients with the chorus, so the chorus of the menu. You could find the appetizer. It would be appealing for the app. If you could find the app and get a discount, you would have no receipts for a smile after the assholes and legions at the door will kick you out of. Maybe with a shout, maybe we'll talk about it with a yelp. You would find that stealth bomber for the bomb you, calm you down, calm you like a compound that sound for the all measurements of the only put it on the scale for the judgment date. You can find the rising with the holiday for the Billy. I am not for the shy man that you can hide the left eye for pink eye for the understanding of your black, and you can find the justice and that for the ashe, pray, meditate for the everything was mediators and find a harmony for the mediator for the vibrating the vibrators would be the electrical magnetic pulse inside of yourself and pulse your heart to the different places you can start over. Restart your engines and hold your idols, hold your Bible and read between the lines. Don't go make a movement or something like that. I'll hold you for justice when you can hold your just yourself, and maybe it was just that, for then maybe you can find that, for the complacencies are only not to found, lost to the same place where you left them at. My memory's hard to find that, never try to think about it that way, but I only go This is the directional, spiritual, highly intellectual, the mystical, for the understanding of your esoteric, and I Hermes principles, and maybe the understanding of the liberty. You for justice when you can hold your just yourself, and maybe it was just this that for the maybe you find that for the complacency is only not too found, lost to the same place where you left them at. My memory is hard to find that. Never try to think about it that way, but I'm gonna go. This is the directional, spiritual, highly intellectual, the mystical, for the understanding of your esoteric, and I Hermes principles, and maybe the understanding of the liberty with the justice for all, or I can be liberal. I can be a conundrum or that.
Listen, by the way you make it, put your oil inside your engine. Smack. Bitch, I talk like that. Nigga, keep this nigga. Nigga, we brand, every weekend. Nigga, like a Puerto Rican tweaking. Nigga, you thinking about it. Nigga, I'm thinking. Nigga, I'm gonna take it out.
I'll hold you for justice when you can hold your just yourself. Or maybe it was just that for the maybe you find that for the complacencies are only not too found. Lost to the same place where you left them at. My memory's hard to find that. Never try to think about it that way, but I can go. This is the directional, spiritual, highly intellectual, for the mystical, for the understanding of your esoteric, and I Hermes principles, and maybe the understanding of the liberty with the justice for all, or I can be liberal. I could be a conundrum, or that could be the only outcome. It could be coming out of that, for this will never be coming, it'll be coming up with the come be, to come to be. I come to be like a beaver pollinating inside of the trees, and we can be breathing, you're breathing oxygen and carbon emissions. And maybe if I had in a missionary position to find something of a status to bring more light, born again like a Christian on a Saturday night. Back to the club again, clubs you like a Billy Club was the only Billie Holiday I could find that thought it was a man for the habitat, but the reputation I can't deny. Part of the particles will never come for the article that you read about, for the propaganda will only see through the agenda. I lead you loose, slender to confine the waistline, line the waist like a prime, but the reach to define the kind of less line, on the kind of mind for the celestial, for the last of the eye, for the highly celestial warrior. I can never find the I and I for the sign you blind me, rather wasted you put your laser lights inside of my eye for the red beam for looking at you with the blue Venus, for the planets, for the gassy understanding with the everything within the surface is not what it seems, for the perception, guessing your dreams and interpretations. Maybe you came into the interruption, you will find yourself lost in an imagination of everything that they gave you. These are the places find you in the fiber options of what you call artificial intelligence, and maybe you provide the intel if somebody ever told you. You can listen, you can go there if you will follow me. Follow me on my Instagram, instantly got many followers and like with no disciples. Cipher the fact you could be a gopher that's under the ground like an earthworm, underground with the sound for you could be the apples.